All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and get started here. Thank you so much for joining today. Appreciate that. For those of you new, my name is Josh Wise. I am the VP of Customer Success here at rezStream. My role here is to make sure that I am taking care of all of our customers, regardless of what product and service that they're using. Make sure that you guys are familiar with our products and services and how to use them and new things that we come out with and things that other people are doing or trying so that you can maximize the use of those services. So I'm a good resource to reach out on all those things, or if you have comments or feedback, would absolutely love to hear that at all times so that we can try and make our services, our products as good as humanly possible. These usability webinars are specifically focused to the cloud reservation software that you guys likely have and are using each and every day to run and operate your business. So all feedback is always welcome from you guys on how to make this thing better. So we'll talk a little bit about that. I try to do that every meeting just for the new folks here. And then there's a couple things I want to go over today. One being how to use tags as it relates to the dashboard in regards to some feedback that we've received recently. And then the last thing I want to do here is I want to go over our latest update, which you guys have likely already experienced, although we haven't publicly announced it. So you've probably recognized it and don't even know maybe what it is that's happening. But in my opinion, it is possibly one of the best features or updates that we've pushed out. So we'll get into that a little bit. Okay. So as a general recap for everyone and for those that may be newer here, in the upper right-hand corner, guys, if you, and sorry, let me share my screen. That would be helpful. Dun, dun, dun. Yay. Okay, so you should be able to see my screen. I'm in my database here. This is specific to me. So in this upper right-hand corner here, guys, you're going to see a bell icon. And under this tab, you'll see news and updates. So when you click on this here, this is where you see the latest releases and information as well as recordings. So a reminder here or refresher for those of you that are new. New features, that's when we blog about new big stuff. I was on vacation with the family last week, so I haven't got the latest blog out here, but I'll get that out very shortly here. And then if you click on this Cloud Updates tab, it tells you the latest release. So these are the notes from the development team. So when you look at these things, it's going to be more technical. I call it nerdy, and I don't mean any disrespect to that, but sometimes it makes sense and sometimes it doesn't. So we try and put the big things out here that make sense to everyone, and in here you can get more granular depth if that's of interest to you. But as we click on that, you're going to see it broken down by feature and usability, performance bugs, cosmetics, exceptions, tax, etc. Those won't necessarily be in every single release that we do, but this is so that we can share with you guys all the changes, so that way you're familiar with what's going on. Maybe it applies to you, maybe it doesn't. And then, you know, we like to keep a running track of the releases that we do, and you can see when those releases happen. So that way you guys can see the efforts that we're doing behind the scenes, because we work very hard on this all the time, okay? Okay, so there's that. Now, what I want to talk to you guys a little bit about today is within our community, so rezstream.uservoice.com, this is what we call our community, where you guys, the users, the clients of our solutions, can give feedback, right? And so you can come in here and you can make new suggestions about things that we're missing or suggestions on how to improve some of the things that we have so that it can help you and be more relatable to your business so you can use those features. And part of what we do here at rezStream, in addition to the feedback on the phone calls and the support tickets we get, part of what we do and how we prioritize what it is that we work on is based on the feedback that we hear from you guys, right? So although I may not reply to every single comment in here, every single comment in here gets seen by both me and the development team and the support staff. So this stuff is very important here. So I just want to reiterate that point, okay? So this one came in recently, and this is something that I wanted to talk about and show today in case this relates to any of you guys out there. So this person, Martina, she had a suggestion. She said, hey, guys, it would be great if the expected arrival time would show up on the dashboard, right? So it's important to Martina, and apparently on these reservations, maybe on the booking engine or phone calls, when she's taking those reservations manually, she wants to track when people are arriving, right? So not every property mans a front desk 24/7, right? So a lot of independent and smaller properties, you guys shut down that front desk where you no longer do check-ins, and you don't want to, get out of bed at 11 p.m. at night because someone didn't inform you that they weren't going to get there till then, and they're ringing the doorbell or calling your emergency number or whatever it is that you have, saying, hey, let me in, right? So Martina, as well as others, are tracking arrival times. And so she's saying, hey, it would be really nice if you could show that to me on the dashboard so I didn't have to then dig into the reservation multiple layers deep to find that information that I'm already tracking, right? Okay, so in jumping back to my database here, if I go into one of my reservations, guys, I'm just going to pick a random one here. You'll see over here on the right-hand side, we have about, if I recall, we have about 3 fields that are built in and defaulted into the system, and I believe it's source of contact, reason for stay, and special needs, if I recall correctly. And then from there, we have special request and private notes field. So that's out of the box standard on everyone's software, okay? And then from there, you can add custom fields over here. So as an example, in my demo database here, I have added an arrival time. So that's something, as an example, that I track in my property here, and you may want to do that as well. But as Martina has experienced here, this arrival time information doesn't show up in these custom fields over here that may be imperative or very important to you. They don't show up over here on this dashboard, right? So when I open up this reservation here on this dashboard, I don't see those notes in here. And so what Martina is saying here is like, hey guys, it's very important to me to know when these guests are going to arrive so I can plan accordingly. But the only way for me to get that information is if I drill in multiple layers here and go into that reservation and then see that they're not showing up until this time, right? And so that just adds another layer of complexity, and maybe she's got 10 people coming tomorrow and she's got to dig in 10 different times, multiple layers deep, right? So that's a little bit frustrating. So we don't have a way to show these custom fields on the dashboard, okay? But what you will notice here when I open this reservation is we have what are known as tags, okay? And hopefully you guys are familiar with this. We have tags that can be associated to the guest, the person, right? So some relatable tags that you would assign to a guest would be like a repeat guest or a VIP guest, or a guest with allergies, right? And maybe you do breakfast and you need to know that they have peanut allergies, right? So things like that, okay? And then what we have is we have what's called reservation tags, right? Now, reservation tags are specific to that one reservation, right? So some practical things related to that one reservation could be an arrival time, could be a late departure. Maybe it's an anniversary and you do something special, you put some flowers in the room. Maybe you offer pack and plays or bundles of wood for their fireplace or whatever it is that you offer, and it's specific to that one-time reservation, right? So what I wrote back to Marina here is I said, hey, thanks for the feedback. Although we don't have a way to get those custom fields where you're likely tracking the arrival time, what we do have as a workaround, if you will, is those tags, okay? And so I said, hey, you should, you look into those tags because that should solve your problem here. So I want to show you guys that, okay? So we know that tags show up here. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to set up a tag. And so an idea of how I would do this, or I would suggest someone would do this, is let's go create some arrival times as reservation tags that we can use on reservations as we're tracking that data, and then those tags will then display here on the dashboard right in our face after one click, so that way I don't have to drill down multiple levels, okay? So the way that we set up reservation tags in this specific example, we would come down to configuration, and then down here under the customization section of configuration, we have reservation tags. So I'm going to drop in here and I'm going to add a new tag. and I'm going to create a tag for 3 p.m., okay? I'm just going to do 3 p.m., and I'm going to mark it as important so that it shows up in the places that I need it to, and then I'm going to save it. And I'm going to do that a couple times here, guys. So I'm going to do a 4 p.m. tag, mark it as red, flag it, and save it. And then I'm going to do a 5 p.m., and I'm going to mark it, and I'm going to tag it and save it, and then I'm going to do a 6. So I'll do this a couple more times, but you guys get the point, and you see how quickly it is and how easy it is to create these tags. And then I'm going to go back and I'm going to show you a specific example of how this works, okay? So 7 p.m., and then I'll do one more. 8 p.m., red, important, safe. Okay, so in a matter of what'd that take me, 25, 30 seconds? In a matter of those many seconds, I have now recently added a 3 p.m., 4 p.m., 5 p.m., 6 p.m., 7 p.m. Now, there is no limit to these tags here, but obviously you don't want to have people creating duplicate tags, so just be careful with how you go through that process because deleting them is kind of annoying. But nonetheless here, I've got some options. Now, maybe you allow check-ins anywhere from noon to 10 p.m. when you close down the front desk, so you would create all those tags. And then if you wanted to get as granular as, you know, whatever, 3:30, 4:30, 5:30, et cetera, you could do that, right? Whatever you guys need that applies for your business. So now I have those tags. Well, I just got a phone call reservation, and Josh wants to book this unit, so I'm going to do me. So thank you, Mr. Wise, for calling. Appreciate that very much. I see that you want to come stay in this particular room on that particular day and time. Everything looks good to me. I'm going to go ahead and confirm your reservation now, yada, yada, yada. So I've got that reservation done. And then it pops me to this screen. It's the final screen here, and I have the ability to add a tag to this specific reservation for this specific customer staying in this room during this time, right? Well, okay, Mr. Wise, thank you so much. If you would be so kind, what time are we to be expecting you and your family? Oh, I'm going to get there around 6 p.m. Perfect. Our front desk is still open at 6 p.m. We don't close until 9 p.m., so we look forward to seeing you. So I tag them here with 6 p.m. Okay, then I close this reservation down. And every time I touch this reservation, I'm now going to see that reservation tag at 6 p.m. So if Marina or anyone else would happen to be on the occupancy map, they would see this information. But what she really wants is she works off the dashboard because it's a quick overview of what's happening for that specific day on those specific reservations, right? So now you'll notice here, as I scroll down this list, okay, I've handled this one, I've handled this one, next one up is Josh and Golden Nugget. I'm going to open this bad boy up, and right there in my face, after one click only, is that 6 p.m. arrival time tag, okay? So back to what Marina was saying here, it would be great if the expected arrival time would show on the dashboard. Well, we just solved that problem by using our reservation tags. So although we can't make the custom field data show up here, because we have limited space here that we can show, we still have the ability to take advantage of a feature that's within the program with those reservation tags, and it will now show up right in my face, and now I know what to expect. Maybe I get my registration card printed, I get their room prepped, or whatever it is that I'm doing, right? So hopefully that makes sense, guys, and hopefully that's a practical example for you all to use. Now, taking it one level further, what are some things that are important to you that you track at your property that would be nice to have that information on this dashboard, right? It does not have to be limited to arrival times. It could be departures, it could be packages, it could be special touches that is the value and the uniqueness of your business, whether it's remembering specific things about them, their dog's name, their pet's name, anniversaries, birthdays, what their hobbies and interests are, et cetera, et cetera. So I want you to start thinking about how you can utilize those reservation tags as it relates to your business, your guests, and how you like to interact with them, and create those tags so that way they pop up right on the dashboard. So that way you're not having to go to the occupancy map, click on the reservation, and then see things here or get even more granular by going in and viewing a person, you shouldn't have to go 4 or 5 layers deep to get some quick information that makes that check-in process that much more intimate and special, which is the reason why people prefer to go to smaller independent properties versus the big chain hotels, right? Okay. All right, so there's that. Hopefully that had some practical value. Now, I want to move on here a little bit, and I want to show you something else. So if I go up here and I look at this latest release here in the cloud updates, one of the features that we came out with, guys, which to me almost everyone's been asking for a while now, and we've finally been able to deliver this, very excited about that, is the ability for real-time updates, okay? And if you're not familiar with what that means, you'll understand this example. You have before made some type of change in this system related to a reservation. Maybe you edited a reservation, maybe you added a reservation, maybe you deleted a reservation, maybe an online booking had come in. Maybe another staff member made a reservation for a unit, but it wasn't showing up on your occupancy map or dashboard. And the only way for that change in the program to reflect and actually show up is you either had to hit the refresh button or you had to navigate to another area of the program and then back before you would actually see that reservation populate, right? So we're calling this real-time updates, or as I call it, auto refresh, where basically the system is automatically refreshing and updating without you having to take any actions whatsoever. So this to me is very nice, and it's something that should be standard here in a reservation software so that you have the latest information available to you at all times, okay? So I want to kind of show you how this thing's going to work, okay? So pay attention here. In this database, which is my database, I have 3 reservations. I've got the Victorian, the Wildflower, and the Golden Nugget, okay? Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pretend that I'm another user in the same database. So I have 2 front desk staff members that take reservations. So I'm going to jump in to the same database, but on a different screen here. And I'm going to come over here and I'm going to make a 2-night reservation in the aquarium room. So I'm going to do that here. I'm going to book this unit. I'm going to pick a random person, Tanya, and I'm going to continue here. And as soon as I book without confirmation, it's going to update on this person, this user's screen, but historically, it would not have updated on this person's screen until they hit this refresh button or went away from the occupancy map and came back, right? So that can create some layers of complexity, because if user number 2 is over here making a 2-night reservation in the aquarium, and someone just called up on the phone and they love the aquarium room and they're looking for a night or 2 here, we could have a problem, and user 1 isn't going to know about it, the actions that user 2 just did, because historically we did not have real-time updates, right? But the way that this now works, and this is live for everyone, this was released last week, is as soon as I make this reservation over here, okay, this reservation is now updated over here, and I come back to user 1's database, you'll see that that bad boy is already in there, okay? So real time, automatically refreshing and updating this reservation software, it happened without me having to take any additional steps. So that is leaps and bounds a better way of how this program should function for every user out there, whether you have multiple front desk staff members, reservationists, whatever you guys call them at your particular property. This is huge, because the same thing could apply to online booking engine reservations as well, or someone working off the dashboard, right? So if I jump over to the dashboard, I see Tanya right there automatically. Now, I clicked over here, so you would have seen that, but let me show you another example. So I'm going to do another one. I'm going to do it in the Sportsman's for one night. And then we'll jump over to user 1 and we'll show you how the dashboard updates real time. So I'll just pick a name. So James here, James Jackson. So I'm going to make a reservation here for James Jackson in the Sportsman. So that reservation's done now. If I jump over to user 1, boom, right away, without having to hit the refresh button, move away from the dashboard and come back to the dashboard, you saw that that reservation is already there. So we have, and you'll see it over here as well. So what we've done here, guys, is we have leaps and bounds take step to give you guys the most pertinent information in real time like that instantaneously. And the beauty here, for those of you that have been on the product for a couple years now, the beauty here is that you saw no sluggish, slow down, or load times of that reservation having to populate. So the way in which that they've coded it on the back end is just absolutely phenomenal. And I won't get into specific technical details of that, but we can now, without interrupting, bogging down, slowing down the refreshing of the occupancy map, and automatically, instantaneously load those things in. So for those of you in the summertime in your peak season and you're running close to your 100% occupancy, it was a freaking nightmare to have to hit refresh on the occupancy map to see the latest availability and wait the 20, 30, 40 seconds when you got people staring through your soul in line to check in or make reservations or whatever is going on. So to me, this might be one of the best dang things that we've ever done. So I hope y'all are as excited about this new feature as I am. And I hope you guys, you probably have noticed it, although maybe you didn't really know what's going on here because you're dealing with reservations. But nonetheless, I hope that's an awesome thing for you guys. Okay, that's all I have for everyone here today. But one more thing before I let you go, as part of these real-time updates, auto refresh, you'll notice this little bell icon in the upper right now has two things on it. Well, historically, those things have been related to when we push a new update. Well, now what we've added is a little section here called New Activity. And so you can see the new things that have come in. So if you don't see them real-time live right here in your face, you have the ability to go up here and see these new reservations that have occurred. And maybe you can use this as part of your new workflow. Maybe you send out an email, or maybe you send out an upgrade offer or a thank you or whatever it is as part of your business. Now maybe you can use this as a reference point. Okay, I've handled all the steps that I need to do on James Jackson. Let me go ahead and get rid of that bad boy. But I still have things to do with Tanya. I don't want to do that right now because I haven't eaten. It's already 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I got to go scarf down a sandwich. I'll handle all my steps that I need to do to process that reservation when I get back. Take a payment, send an email, whatever it is that you do. And then when you come back here, you can close that down, right? Now, something to keep in mind for those of you that have a lot of units or you get a lot of reservations every day, you'll notice we have a global clear here, so you don't have to go one by one, which would be annoying if you got 15 of these sitting in here. You just go ahead and clear all of them, and now they're all gone and you're all caught up, right? So that new activity notification ties into those real-time updates. So hopefully you guys find some practical use out of that. Okay, I try to keep these things less than 30 minutes. I know you guys are all very, very busy here, so I've done my job well today, which normally I don't do because I can be very long-winded. So thank you guys very much for sitting in. If you have comments, questions, ideas, guys, please feel free to put them in the user voice, rezstream.uservoice.com. Please feel free to shoot me an email directly or give me a call. That's my direct line. Whether we're improving things or adding things or missing things, I want to hear it, guys. That's how we make this product better for you. You guys are paying for it, and so it needs to be practical and be amazing for your business. So love to hear your feedback, and thank you again very much for sitting in today. Really appreciate it. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Thank you very much. Take care. Bye-bye.